The European Union and Mercosur States, Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay and Uruguay reached on June 28 in 2019 a political agreement for an ambitious, balanced and comprehensive trade agreement. The EU is Mercosur's number one trade and investment partner. EU exports to Mercosur more than 41 billion in goods in 2019 and 21 billion in services in 2018. The EU is the biggest foreign investor in Mercosur with a stock of 365 billion, while Mercosur's investment stock in the EU amounts to 52 billion in 2017. While the relationship is very substantial, both exporters and potential investors face barriers in Mercosur markets. The goal of the new EU-Mercosur trade deal is to increase bilateral trade and investment and lower tariff and non-tariff trade barriers, notably for small and medium-sized enterprises. It's there to create more stable and predictable rules for trade and investment through better and stronger rules, for example in the area of intellectual property rights, including geographical indications, food safety standards, competition and good regulatory practices. It is to promote joint values such as sustainable development by strengthening workers' rights, fight climate change, increase environmental protection, encourage companies to act responsibly, and uphold high food safety standards. The agreement represents a win-win for both the EU and Mercosur, creating opportunities for growth, jobs, and sustainable development on both sides. In this case, people talk about the first mover advantage. The EU will be the first major trading partner to conclude a trade agreement with the Mercosur bloc. Mercosur will now give EU companies much better access to its markets than it gives to businesses from other countries. And there's improved competitiveness. With the elimination of tariffs, the many European companies already established in the Mercosur countries will be able to import parts and intermediate goods more easily. And with cutting tariffs, the agreement will eliminate high customs duties in key EU export sectors like cars and parts, machinery, chemicals, pharmaceuticals, and for products so far have been kept out of the Mercosur market, such as clothing and footwear. For some of these tariffs, the phasing out will take place over a period of several years. And there will be easier customs and compliance procedures. The two sides will simplify their customs procedures and work together more closely on technical regulations and standards so that any differences that may exist do not stop EU companies from exporting to Mercosur. And about selling services and setting up a business presence, the Mercosur countries have thus far given limited access to service providers from other World Trade Organization countries, but EU companies are already involved in providing Mercosur with telecommunications, financial, business and transport services, among other sectors. And the agreement will address many significant barriers they face. It will also help other companies seeking to provide services or set up a service or manufacturing business in a country of Mercosur. They will enjoy greater legal certainty and a level playing field. Hear, hear, a level playing field. Getting access to public contracts is another topic. The EU-Mercosur trade agreement will allow EU firms to bid for public contracts on equal terms with Mercosur companies. So far, this market was mostly closed to EU companies. Mercosur countries are not part of the plurilateral government procurement agreement and have so far not given access to its public tenders to any third countries. Supporting small and medium-sized companies is another issue. Small and medium-sized companies often cannot afford entering new export markets due to red tape at customs, costly testing and certification requirements. In many cases, this adds to a lack of knowledge of regulatory requirements and processes to place their products on the export market. Thanks to the agreement, they will now benefit from a new online platform providing easy access to information on market requirements and custom rebates. This trade agreement also will make it easier for European farmers and food producers to make the most of new opportunities in the countries of Mercosur, which represent a large market of over 260 million people. And this will be achieved by either removing high tariffs for EU main export products, by preventing imitation of EU traditional foodstuffs, making food safety procedures clearer, more predictable and less cumbersome. For EU exporters, Mercosur is already a major market for EU exports of olive oil, frozen potatoes, malt, chocolates, vegetables and fruit, for example pears, plums, kiwis, apples, soft drinks, as well as wines, vodka and whiskey. The agreement will open up new opportunities for those and other EU products by removing high customs duties in a market with an increasingly high purchasing power. Unfortunately, the whole thing is on hold now. As I said, some part of this agreement deals, for example, with ecological issues, and there are issues in some member countries in the EU, for example in Austria, that have problems with this deal. And even if some people claim the opposite, every EU member country is a sovereign country, and every of the 27 EU countries has to agree with a trade deal like this, and even some more local assemblies have to agree. And in this case, it doesn't look like that an agreement will be found in the nearest future. So we will all have to wait and see, but all the advantages I talked about would be there if this agreement comes into force in the EU. And if you now want to know more about European politics from a German point of view, I put my next video right here in the end screen, right next to your chance to subscribe to my channel, by the way. I hope you click and enjoy my next video. I'll see you there. Viel Spaß!